on in, everyone. Come on in because we are back, y'all. We are back to talk about another topic. Another topic on Love is Blind, season 10. This time I got a question for everybody. What's wrong with being average? What is wrong with being average? It seems as if no one wants to be average anymore. Everyone wants to believe that they're above average because I guess average is just what? Not good enough. Um, it's gotten to the point now where because no one wants to be average, everyone thinks that they are above average. And then they try to convince everyone else that they're above average. I don't give it. Being average is underrated. It's a good space to be. Nothing's wrong with being, and when I say average, I mean just you. I'm average. I'm average looking. I'm average, right? And when I look at this episode, it's the thing that stuck out with me the most. So many people on this show trying to be more than what they really are. And honestly, if they would just be themselves, I feel that would be good enough for someone. But maybe the motivation to be better than average is because they want better than average. So it's almost like I want better than average. So I can't really say I'm average because then who would I be walking up in here asking for more better than average and I'm average. Amber, girl, you average. You average, you average, you're average. Where did Kevin Samuel say back in the day? Average at best. I'm really tired of women who think because they're skinny and they have blonde hair that they're above average. Like that's all it takes. All it takes is to have blonde hair and be skinny, and all of a sudden they're beautiful. Amber. I don't know who's going, if she and this guy fella, what's his name? What's the guy with Amber? Not Josh. What is his name? Jordan. Um, I'm up to episode 3, and Jordan proposed to Amber. Amber, who said in the pods, as long as you're not 60 and overweight, then I'll be fine. Jordan knew he was overweight. I mean, I'm not going to call him obese or nothing, but he knew he was overweight. So, Jordan, if you know you overweight, and this woman just said, as long as you 60 and not overweight, what made you think just because you're not 60, she not going to care about you being overweight? When Amber saw that man, she didn't like him. She didn't like nothing about him. And I don't know what's going to happen down the line, but I know one thing that's not going to happen. She ain't going to be married to him because Amber thinks she's above average. Amber looks, I don't know how old Amber is, but I'm telling you, Amber looks like she's in her late 40s. Her late 40s. And this whole episode, all she talks about is how good she looks and how she's such a hot commodity. If you are a hot commodity, why are you on Love is Blind? That's why I don't understand why people are out here faking and fronting. What's wrong with saying, hey, I'm just like everybody else out here in the world. I gotta, I have a problem finding my person like every other average person. You see what I'm saying? Why would you then say you above average, but you still having problems finding other people? No, maybe you're average. Maybe you're above average in some categories and you're below average in others. And you know what? I'm up here doing performance reviews. I'm a manager at my job. I'm in the middle of performance reviews just to give a little parallel. And there's a lot of little indices you can rate someone on. Some are they're above average, some they're meeting expectations, and some they need improvement. And as you go through the performance evaluation, plenty of times I'm marking and saying, oh, this person is above average in this category. But in this category, they're meeting expectations, but they're not above average. And in this category, they're below expectations. And in the end, at the very end of the performance review, it'll tally up all my little marks and it'll say, hey, based on these categories, different levels, you're average. You're meeting expectations or you're above expectations. It's almost as if people walk around now and say, if I'm above average in any category, whether it be looks, color of my skin, color of my hair, my weight, my job, any category in which you might be judged as a whole, all of a sudden you just automatically go to I'm above average. This is a problem. It's a problem not only in the dating world, it's a problem even in just having sometimes conversation with people because people think that they are better than they are. They think they all that. And this episode, this season is full of a bunch of people who are average at best but think they are all that. That interferes with things. You see what I'm saying? That's like going to jobs, interviews, thinking you all that. And like, girl, you average. Like nothing's wrong with being average, but just don't think you above average. So when I look at Amber, and I already listen, y'all, I'm only in episode 3, and I know she's gonna reject this guy, Jordan. But you know what, Jordan, you should have known better. You should have. He seemed like a nice guy. So far, he seemed like a nice guy, but he's delusional. He's delusional in thinking that a woman who constantly talks about looks, who has said over and over again she don't want no fat man, would want him. Why? Because he's above average in personality. You see, that's what he's thinking. Oh, I might be average in body, I might be average in looks, but because my personality is so great, I'm above average, and she gonna overlook all this other stuff. No, she's not. No, she's not. Amber, she looks like she's in her late 40s. She got to be lying about her age. She got to be lying about her age. And I guess beauty isn't about eye beholder because Jordan says she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which is fine. But maybe he's got to say that now that he knows she don't like him. He had to have felt it. Didn't he see what I saw when she saw him? Didn't he see that half smile like that? Didn't y'all see it? I saw it. The fake smile. This is a hot mess. She gonna treat him horribly. She gonna treat him horribly because she not attracted to him, and she don't really want him. All she really want to be is she wants to be married. And right now, she's willing to accept an overweight man to be married. But that ain't going to last long. Once the honeymoon in Mexico, once she gets her free trip in Mexico, please don't let her get to Mexico and then say she wants to save herself until they get married. Let's see what she does. But I don't know what's wrong with not being wanting to be average. You know who else don't want to be average? Alex, the soccer coach, living in the past. Living, he thinks because he was once going to be in the top 10 to be drafted, he was once going to be a star soccer player, he was once going to be that, he believes he's above average. Because he's above average in looks, he thinks overall he's above. You a soccer coach, I don't know, what grade do you teach soccer? I hope it ain't no tots, tiny tots. Is it high school? Is it middle school? Is whatever it is? He's living in the past. He's living in a dream. He doesn't want to accept that he's now average. That's right. Even if people consider him above average in looks, he's average on the marketplace for a man because he's a soccer coach. He ain't soccer coaching no stars. And all these woe is me stories about how I thought my friends was my friends and I was supposed to be drafted and this and that. And he's a man that's into the physical and he's going to need a beautiful woman. Why would a dime, a 10 piece, a 10, a real 10 woman, why would she be with you? She could go out and get her a man that's good looking and got some money, possibly. He's he's average. Like I said, there's levels, there's categories. What's wrong with being average? I got sick to my stomach listening to Alex all day long talk about his lost dream, his knee surgery. Obviously, he ain't got no other skills. He put all his eggs in the basket of being a soccer player, a professional soccer player. It went bust, like a lot of people. A lot of people dream of being football players, basketball players, rappers, musicians. I live in a city of LA where dreams come to die. People think, what's that song with Alicia Keys? Where your dreams come true, live in New York. Let me tell you, New York and LA, they also come to die. So if the streets are paved with people with dreams that have died, but they're still living in the past. You still got people who are 40, 50 years old, still trying to be a rap star because they just can't accept being average. They can't get no average job. They can't live no average life. They think they're better than average looking. It's just a lot of delusion going on. And what's sad about it is once you start to believe you're not average and you're so above average, then you require above average from everyone else. So now in all of your mates, everyone you choose, they all got to be above average because you don't really recognize that you average too. You are average too. But everybody else has to be above average. And that's Alex running around talking about he wanted an above average woman. And when he sees Ashley, how beautiful she is, and he's sticking his tongue down her throat, darn near groping her at the first sight, he's so happy because she's so beautiful. Cause she wait till she finds out he averaged with a soccer coach salary that he probably don't even get paid all year round. Cause when them kids be going on break, he probably ain't even get no check. So is he unemployed part of the year and a soccer coach the other part of the year? Does he even have a degree where he can be a substitute teacher and can he be a PE teacher and a history teacher? Can he do both at the same time? Or is he really just a one trick pony and all he can do is teach soccer? Give me a break. Now, if you're a professional soccer coach, right, then maybe we talking. But I don't know. It was, this whole episode was just full of average people wanting to be average. You know who else got on my nerves who thinks she's more than average? Emma. Emma, girl, you average too. You average too. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be cruel, but the way that Emma came on this show as if she was just going to have the pick of the litter, right? And now all of a sudden she's figuring out that people are choosing other people. And she's sitting over here thinking, well, maybe I sat on my hands too long with Connor. And Connor is going to go over here and choose the other girl, who's her name, Bree or something. Emma walked in here thinking she had the pick of the litter. It's weird because in one way, she talks about how she has to deal with the fact that she was adopted and that she was raised by a white family, even though she's clearly of Asian descent. And she's had to have, 15 different surgeries to remove, lesions or birthmarks from her body that could have been called cancers. Such a nice story of overcoming. But then she comes in here. Imagine this. Imagine a woman who's had to overcome all these things that are clearly difficult things to overcome. Absolutely. And she comes on this show and acts as if the audacity, the audacity of it all, right? And here's another thing, Emma. Okay. When people are in their younger years, in their 30s, both men and women, sure, there are a lot of people who don't want children. But there are more people who do want children. There are more men who want children at that age. So when you come into the marketplace and you've decided that either you don't want children or you may not want children, whichever one you may be, which is okay, why can't you recognize that you're not going to be as attractive to people who want children? What's wrong with admitting that? What's wrong with admitting that when I look at what I have to offer and I'm not really for sure offering my womb, what's wrong with saying that may make me not above average? If the average man at 31, 32, 33 who doesn't have any kids, if the average man wants children and you don't want children or you're not sure if you want children, why would you think you would pair well with the average man? Delusion. You're not going to pair well with the average man. So if you are coming in with below average things to bring to the table, which is, I'm not sure I want my womb to carry a child, which is your prerogative. It is your prerogative. It is your decision. Why then can't you accept the fact that you won't necessarily be able to pair with the average man? Not Emma. Not Emma. Emma thinks she can walk into here with below average things she's going to bring to the marital table, when very importantly, one of the things is people who want to get married and want to build a family. That's very important. That's very important. Why would you think then that you above average in the marketplace, the dating marketplace? You know why? And you yourself said you're disfigured. You got problems with your body. So then there, are you average, Emma, or are you below average or average? Are you above average? Emma's delusional. Emma's delusional. And you know what? I don't know who's going to choose Emma to say I'm going to be married, because at this point, Connor is gone, Chris is gone, they've moved on. The only person left is Mike, and Mike adamantly wants children. So how the hell could Emma and Mike be together when he's not even wavering on whether he wants children? He absolutely wants children. He absolutely wants children. We got to see more of Tyler. Like I said before, she too walking around. She's above average. And here she is in a room with Kevin, who she believes, I know my worth. I know my worth. What do you mean you know your worth? Did Kevin put you down? Did Kevin make you say something to you that says he doesn't value you? Or just the mere fact that you're here on Love is Blind, and yes, you are competing against other women. The fact that Kevin had to remind you that you're on Love is Blind, you're competing with other women, all of a sudden now you running around talking about you know your worth. Where did he put you down at? What does that have to do with knowing your worth? Once again, it is saying, I'm here. It's not even knowing your worth. Maybe you don't know your worth because you're saying you're here and you're so above. You're so above being chosen on Love is Blind. Then why are you here? If you're not average, like average people out here trying to find loves of their lives, understanding that at any point in time when you meet a man, whether it's Love is Blind or even on the streets, there's a good possibility he's talking to another woman. He's looking at another woman. Same thing with men. A man could be talking to her. What is the expectation? Tyler got on here and said, before I become a fiance, I need to become a girlfriend. Girl, you on Love is Blind. What kind of rules are you implementing? You ain't even seen this man. So you going to take a show that's unorthodox, Love is Blind, you ain't even seen them, and you going to layer on top of that, you're going to try to bring in some traditional roles that before I can become a fiance, I got to become a girlfriend? What? This makes no sense. This tells me that there's a lot of people walking around with delusion. With delusion. You know, if you're out in the dating world, if you're out in the dating world, look for you a person who thinks that they're average, right? Don't look for no one who's believing they all that, who's walking around talking about I know my worth, who's walking around talking about I look good, so I want somebody to look good too. Don't get with no one like that. I'm telling you, because people like that who artificially inflate themselves, they're gonna always look down on you. They're always going to elevate and pretend like you the problem, you the one that needs to do more work, because they're just out of touch. They're out of touch with what they're doing. They're out of touch with how they show up in the world. They just out of touch. They're out of touch. Get you someone who says, I'm average, but I'm striving to be better than average. Find you that person. Find you a person that loves themselves where they are, right? People keep talking about self-love, self-love. You don't have no self-love when you're delusional and you have to love someone you're not. Hear me one more time. It's not called self-love when who you are loving, when you say you self-loving yourself, you that ain't even the person you are. You see yourself in a completely different light and you love that person, but everybody else is like, well, that ain't who you are. That's not who's showing up. That's not who we see. So whoever you loving, you ain't loving who's sitting here in front of me. You're loving a fictional character of yourself. Like I said, um, average is really underrated. Can we make average the new thing? Can we make people who know that they're average become the most attractive people out here in the world, as opposed to people who lose a little bit of work, lose a little bit of weight, dye their hair blonde, become skinny, and think that's all it takes to be above average? You know, like Amber said, she had a child at a very young age. She felt ashamed when she had a baby out of wedlock in high school. She said she wasn't all that good looking. I guess she done got skin grafts, lip injections. She's skinny and she done dyed her hair blonde. All of a sudden, she's gone from below average to now she's above average. I just can't, y'all. I just can't. It's hard to have conversations with people when they not level headed. How, where are you going to go with the conversation if everybody's living up in the clouds all the time? How are you going to solve any problems? How are you going to work out solutions? How are you going to come together when one person is always living in la la land? Get yourself a person who says, I'm average and I'm just looking for an average old man and woman. And it's just going to be two average people together living a good life, and not two people thinking they're more than what they are and then therefore going around asking everybody else for more. Because that's what they do. People who think more highly of themselves than they are, next thing you know, they come and knocking at your door. I'm going to need more from you. What for? Because I'm above average and I'm going to need you to be above average. The hell I am? I'm average. I'm average. You deal with it and you accept it. Otherwise, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Anyway, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. We're going to keep watching this because every time something comes to mind, I'm going to be right back here on the screen talking about it. Talk to y'all later. Bye.